So in that yesterday session, demo session, right? I was just briefing you the various real-time applications. What kind of applications we can build by using Python and how it was built. Some sample snippets of Python, how they look, sample codings of Python, and like generating some kind of graphs, the importance of models in Python. Okay, and just checking with the coding of Python, like coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, how this Python coding looks as compared with other programming. Right, today just entering into this technicals of Python. So before I go with the installation process, right, so you need to know something about like PSF, Python Software Foundation, Python Software Foundation, and Python versions. Python Software Foundation. PSF, you say like PSF, right? Okay. It is a non-profit organization. It is a non-profit organization devoted towards Python community, right? Non-profit organization devoted towards Python community, right? It was launched in the year. It was it was launched in the year 2001, right? Objective: to foster the development of Python. To foster the development of Python, right? Version to version, there were many improvements in the modules, other things, right? To foster the development of Python. Okay. In the year 2004, PSF. 1 second. Some of them facing problem with the connections. 1 second. Okay. In the year 2004, PSF received Horizon Award, right? So in the year 2004, PSF, Python Software Foundation, received Computer World Horizon Award, right? And the president for this, the nothing but the personality who developed Python, right? Guido van Rossum is the personality who developed Python, right? The same person is the president for this PSF, Python Software Foundation. And okay, headquarters in Delaware, United States. Delaware, USA, right? Official website, right? python.org. This is the official website of Python, from where we can download Python and also see the documentation for each and every Python release. So python.org is the official website from where we can download and see the documentation for each and every Python release, right? Okay. So this is something about PSF, non-profit organization, launched in 2001. President is Kudo Van Rosen, the personality who developed Python, headquarters Delaware, USA. Official website python.org. Yes. And before we go with the installation process, you need to know something about the Python versions. Okay. Python first version, like Python 1 version, 1.x, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It's like 1.x. It was released in the year 1990, right? Python 2.x. The 2 version was released in the year 2000, right? Okay. Python 3.x, 3 version. The version that we are going currently is 3 version. The 3 version, okay. It was released in the year 2008. Python 1.x, 2.x, 3.x. 3.x was released in the year 2008. Right. Latest version of Python. Observe this, latest version of Python. So the latest version of Python, like Python 3.10. Okay. 3.10 is the latest version. 1 second. Stable version of Python. Stable version of Python, right? Like Python 3.7. Stable version, nothing but mostly used version. What do you mean by mostly used version? Previous stable version. Previous stable version is like Python 2.7. 2.7, right? Yes. So the version that we are going to install is 3.10. Latest version of Python is 3.10. The version, okay, 1 second. So next is like Python installation. So in the case, okay. So before I install Python, right, first let me go to this settings, right? Let me just uninstall and show you that from the scratch. So 1 second. Here Python, we can install multiple versions of Python in your systems. Multiple versions can be installed, right? 3.10. Just observe here 3.10. Uninstall it. I am uninstalling this 3.10 version, right? Fine. Okay. So Python is going to provide different softwares for different environments, for Windows, for Mac OS, for Linux. For Linux, no need of any installation. By default, Python comes as an inbuilt within this Linux operating system. Whatever Linux flavor you use, like Ubuntu, Red Hat Linux, or CentOS, right? But for Windows, even within the Windows, for Windows 32-bit, Python provides separate software. For 64-bit, Python provides separate software, right? So how will you check whether your Windows is it
Hello, not able to hear anything right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, are you able to see my screen and are you able to hear my voice now? Can anyone please confirm?
Yes.
Fine, thank you.
Audible, sir.
Yeah. So there was a power cut. I was out of the meeting, so I just logged in. Fine. So I was just discussing like Python installation, right? So uninstallation complete. Uninstallation was successful. Close it. So now I was saying like Windows, Python is providing different softwares for 32-bit and 64-bit. If your Windows is a 32-bit, Python provides separate software. For 64-bit Windows, it provides separate software. How will you check whether your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit, right? Checking like, okay, just go to your desktop, try your PC or computer, and just say properties, right? Just say properties. Okay. Can if you right click what is your system, right? 64-bit operating system, right? 64-bit operating system. Okay. So if it is 64-bit, you are supposed to download 64-bit Python software. If it is shows 32-bit operating system, right? You are supposed to download 32-bit Python software, right? Okay. Depending upon, okay, once again, where you can see, right click your PC or my computer, right, and say properties and check what is your Windows. Is it a 32-bit or 64-bit? So if it is 64-bit, okay, fine. Download 64-bit. So just now downloading Python, just open Chrome, open the browser, right? And just say what is the official website of Python? Yes, what is the official website of Python? Python.org. Python.org. Python.org is the official website. Just type this python.org and second. Okay, you can just see the screen, right? Okay, observe the screen. Python.org, you can see this downloads, documentation, right? This downloads, documentation. Okay, and here can you see this PSF, Python Software Foundation, and you can just go through the documentation of Python for each and every Python release. What are the new things you see? What are the things which got removed, which are deprecated? Everything can see within this documentation of Python. Go to the downloads, all releases, right there. If you see, if we click this all releases and just scroll down, right? Just scroll down. Yes. Active Python releases. Active Python releases. Don't go for it. Looking for a specific release, right? Looking for a specific release. Okay. Looking for a specific release. Okay. You can just observe here, right? All the Python versions from the last 20 years. From the last 20 years, all the Python versions are displayed here. Check it. If we just you can see all this, right? All the Python versions from the last 20 years. 2.0.1 June 22 2001. Okay, fine. So you can just select any version, right? Python 3.10, Python 3.10 version, right? Okay, just click that Python 3.10. Looking, see, I'm looking for a specific release. Python 3.10 October 4 2001, right? Almost like 1.5 months back it was released. 3.10. You just click it. Okay. And just scroll down a little bit, and just come down, and you can see the files here. You are able to see the files, right? So within the files, okay. So within the files, if you can observe at the bottom, can you see Windows installer 32-bit, Windows installer 64-bit, right? You can select any one, right? Installer 32-bit or Windows installer 64-bit. 32-bit or 64-bit, which, so it's 64-bit, you select 64-bit, right? And just I'm selecting this Windows installer 64-bit. Immediately your download, see here, observe here, your download started here at the bottom. You can check, right? Download got started. Okay.
So,
Now,
Vijay, what is
yes.
Windows embeddable package 32-bit or 64-bit?
Okay, so here that's for different, right? For embedded systems, we'll be using that. For Windows, generally for normal Python installation, right? We go for this 62 or 32-bit, right? Okay. For Mac OS, you can select this, and for Windows, you can select this. Okay. Mac OS universal installer, and for 32-bit and for 62-bit. Okay, and for Linux by default you get it, right? But if you want to install the latest version in Linux, apt-get install Python 3.10, that is the command, right? But by using, if you want the latest version of Python to be installed, right? Fine, just observe your Python, just download it. At the bottom it's 27 MB of size, 27 MB of size. If you can just go to the downloads folder and click, otherwise just click this. And don't immediately go for the installation, right? Don't immediately go for installation. Just at the bottom, you can see add Python 3.10 to path. Add Python 3.10 to path. Select it. Just select it and go for customize installation, right? Go for customize installation. No need to select anything here. Okay, already you will be getting documentation. Pip means, so pip is a component where we can install the external modules of Python which are not present within the Python software. Means all the thousands of modules, 89,300 modules, you're not going to see along with this Python software. So the specific domain specific modules are the external modules which are not part of Python software. We are supposed to download and install by using this pip. Later I'll be demonstrating that. It also takes just 1 to 2 minutes for downloading and installing, right? Pip ideally. And these are the things. No need to select anything here. Just say next. Here also nothing to select, right? But install location where you want to install, right? So by default it is getting installed in C, users, Dell, app data, local programs, Python 3.10, right? So tomorrow if you want to install any external modules, you need to specify the entire path of Python where exactly it is installed, right? So instead of this very big path, right, just I want to install Python in the C drive. Just remove everything and just give C/Python 3.10. 3.10 means 3.10, right? So a folder is going to get created with this name Python 3.10, and you can install, right? Install. Okay, just say install. It hardly takes 1 to 2 minutes for installing it, right? Fine. So once it is installed, let us check whether it is properly installed or not. Okay, so you can install Python in the Windows, Mac OS, Linux, even within the smartphone. You can just install Python and you can write your code and execute the code within the smartphones also, right? Go to the Play Store and just type Python IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So you get many IDEs, just downloading and installing those and working with the editors, Python editors, right? Okay. So setup was successful. Just say close and just to check whether it is properly installed or not, just at the bottom search panel, type CMD and go to this command prompt. And just type Python here. Whenever I say Python, if I say enter, right? If I press enter, it should display the Python version. It should display the Python version and also the interpreter. Okay. I'm just pressing enter. It is displaying the Python version, right? 3.10. And if you observe this 3 arrow symbol where you can type any valid Python statements and interact with it statement by statement, right? So any valid statements, 5 plus 4, x equal to 10, x minus 4, x into 4, x by 4, anything. Fine. It gives the response, right? X to the power of 3, right? So in this way, any valid Python statements you can type, your Python is working, right? So Python is installed, right? So this is what even later I'll be showing you how to download and install the various IDs supported for Python. So in the real time, we work with these IDs like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, Atom, VS Code. Okay, I'll just show you all how to run this Python code and execute in each and every ID, how to download, how to install, and how to execute the code on all those IDs, right? Once we are done with little bit of technical content, I'll be just demonstrating about those IDs of Python. Okay. Now coming back, so hope you understood this installation of Python. Go to python.org website, go to the downloads folder, and specific release, looking for a specific release, select the version 3.9 or 3.10, anything is fine. Very latest version also is not recommended, right? We'll be having some kind of stable versions are recommended. So 3.9 or 3.10, okay, just select that version and select that Windows installer 32 or 64. Fine. And to go for the normal installation, customized installation, right? Okay. And those who are working in Linux environment and depending upon your Linux version, the Python version, okay, you'll be seeing the Python version. If you want the latest version of Python to be installed within the Linux environment, so just like apt and get install, that's like that. Python 3.9 or 3.10. Go for 3.9. I don't think 3.10, okay, it's working. 3.9 or 3. Anything. If 3.10 is working, you can just otherwise go with 3.9. Okay. This command is enough for installing it, right? Fine. And Python execution modes. Python execution modes, right? 2 modes of execution. Once again, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear or not?
Clear, Vijay.
Yes, Professor.
Okay. 2 modes of Python execution modes, 2 modes of execution, right? Fine. First is like interactive mode and batch mode.
So I have the question, Vijay. So like you gave the Python installation. sudo command, right, on the above line. So
Yes.
where we need to give in the command prompt or?
Yes, in the command prompt, you are in terminal. When you open the terminal, right, Python terminal, within the terminal, you can just, this is one second. This is terminal, within the terminal, you can just type it, right?
But how can I open the Python terminal?
So just if I say Python, right, if within the terminal, if you type Python, right, Python opens in 2 version.
Okay.
If you say, and if you say, if you're already in that, okay, you can just check it. If you type Python version, it will display, and Python interpreter gets opened. Just like in Windows, how I'm typing this
Okay.
Python, right? Here in the terminal, you are in Linux, in your terminal, you can just type open terminal, where you work with Linux commands, right? There you can just type Python and say enter, right? Python version will be displayed, and this also you can see this interpreter. So if you want to come out of the interpreter, right, you need to say quit. We need to say quit, coming out of the interpreter again. But in Linux, whenever you say Python, it will show like Python 2 version, 2.7 or 2.6 like. So if you want a Python 3 version, you need to say like Python 3. In Linux, Python 2 version, Python 3, both will be available. If you want that Python 3 version, right, you need to type Python 3 and say enter, right?
Okay. But in the Windows, okay, so how can I, if I want to install the like a stable version, right? Sudo, by giving the sudo command in the command prompt, how can we do in the Windows?
In Windows, you are talking. In Windows, see here, Windows, you are going to select the version, whichever version you want, right? Any version about 3.7 is fine, right? 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. You won't see much changes in that, much differences, minute changes you can see. So you can go with 3.9. What I suggest is go with 3.9. Very latest version is not, because there are some issues in some of the advanced modules, right? In 3.10. For anyhow, okay, later you can change. In my system, if you observe, I've got both 3.9 and 3.10. Both versions are installed, right? Not a problem. So hope everyone understood this installation of Python, right? Yeah, any other queries you have got? Anyone related to installation? Okay, you can
what
check
is
it. You
sudo
can
here?
See, generally in Linux, if you want, generally you need to do everything from the root user. Whatever installations, everything you need to perform from the root. So otherwise, you can just use this sudo, right? we need to do everything from the root, right?
Do we need to perform in this Windows terminal also?
No. In Windows, this is not required. Windows, you no need to perform anything. Just say install, right? Once open the software, right, just double click it and next say next, give the location of the path and say that is installed, right? But before installing, you need to select that add Python 3.10 to path. I said to select that, right? You're supposed to select it. And normal installation, no need to do anything sudo in Windows, right?
Sir, can you put the both version like 3.9 or 3.10? Any issue in that?
3.9 or 3.10, right? So I just, you can select a 3.9. If 3.10, why? Because very latest version is not recommended, right?
Okay.
You can just select 3.10 also, it's working fine, but there are some problems with some of the modules, like some modules like matplotlib, it's got some issues. It won't be installed properly, right? So you will be seeing more versions on 3.10 in the coming days, right? So meanwhile, 3.10 works. If 3.9 you can select, otherwise 3.9 itself, 3.10 you can select. 1 second. 3.9.9, just if you observe, like just 9 days back, one more 3.9 version is released. Yeah, 3.10 version released 1.5 months back. So every week, every 10 days, some versions will be released, right? So anything like a 3.9 you can select, or 3.10 is select, anything is fine. They're going to work. So it's not like, okay, you people can select any of it, 3.9 or 3.10. two modes of execution. Two modes of execution, right? Interactive mode and batch mode. So Python is providing two modes, right? Interactive. In this interactive mode, you cannot see in other programming languages, right? In other programming languages, this interactive mode means you cannot interact statement by statement. So interactive mode, here we directly type, just now I was showing you, right? Statement by statement, you can type and check the response for each and every statement. Here we directly type Python statements. And the user can easily interact, with Python statement by statement. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter and the user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. So what is the advantage we see in interactive mode, right? To test the functionalities of Python. For example, if it doesn't have knowledge of any functionality, right? You can just type on this interactive mode and check what response it is providing. To test the functionalities, and to learn Python. This interactive mode works better for testing the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. So the beginners and the learners, right? This interactive mode works better. But this interactive mode is not preferred for developing Python applications. For developing Python applications, you need to go for batch mode. Just like other programming languages, Python also supports batch mode. Here we write a batch of statements. Here we write batch of statements within the editors or IDEs. We write batch of statements within the editors or IDEs. Save it using extension. And later submit to Python. Okay, here we write batch of statements within the editors or IDs and save it by using .py extension and later submit it to Python, right? So what are the various editors where we can write the Python code and what are the various IDs? So just various editors, right? So you can write this Python code within this notepad. If I talk about the Windows, within the notepad you can write, within the edit plus you can write. And in the case of Linux, if I talk, VA editor, nano editor, you can write this Python code in all these IDEs. And what are the various IDEs supported by Python? Various IDEs. Various IDEs, right? Okay. PyDev, Komodo, Spider, just like Eclipse, NetBeans, PyCharm, PyDev, Eclipse, NetBeans, Atom, like Jupyter Notebook, Atom, VS Code. So I'm just going to show you on all these IDs how to download, how to install, and how to run the code on this. PyCharm is the mostly used IDE for Python. Mostly used one, mostly. So why, you may ask, right? Why these many IDs for Python? Why not one or two? So I said like Python is used for different environments, right? For implementing different domains. So for example, for data science, right, we go for Jupyter Notebook or Spider ID. Even for big data, we go for Spider ID, Jupyter Notebook. And for typical web applications creations, we go for PyCharm, Atom, VS Code. So from environment to environment, we go for different IDs. So, but I'm going to give you the knowledge on all these IDs, how to work with all these IDs. Or if you go to any environment, you will be having the idea of this IDs. Mostly used one is PyCharm. So here I'll just discuss like how to develop a first Python application, right? Developing a Python application within the editors first. Developing a Python application within a editor, right? Example like Notepad. Developing Python application within the editor, example like Notepad. Okay, just as of now, we didn't discuss anything in any technical part of Python, right? So it doesn't have any knowledge on Python. So just I'll take two values like x as 10, y as 5, x as 10, y as 20. Yes, two values. I will perform some kind of arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, right? Say just say print x plus y, print x minus y, x plus y, x minus y, print x into y, right? X by y. Okay, just taking two numbers or two values and just performing addition, arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. I'll copy this to a separate notepad file. Just open a notepad file. I'm pasting here, right? Save it, file, save it as a .py extension. So yesterday I created a separate folder for this batch, right, where I will be saving all the Python files. Python 9 p.m. batch. So here sample1.py. I've saved it as sample1.py, right? Okay. Just I'm writing the same thing here. Save as sample1.py and submit this file to Python. As how you are going to submit this file? Okay, just go to this command prompt and the bottom just types in the search panel bottom, right? Type cmd and go to this command prompt and just type Python and don't say enter. If you say enter, it will enter into the interactive mode, right? And give the path where your file is available. Give the path where your Python file is available within the C drive. Python 9 p.m. batch. Within this folder, the file is available. Sample1.py, sample1.py, and just give that where your Python file is available, in which folder, in which drive, submit that and give the entire path to Python, right? Say enter, it gives, right? 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20. You got the result, right? So just give the path of the file to submit your path to Python.
So can you show same this in interactive mode, sir?
Pardon?
Can you show same example in interactive mode? How it is responding like that?
Okay. Just to say Python just interactive mode means you need to write statement by statement. Python, just this is what the, just type Python and this three statements, you are going to get this, right? So x is just in interactive mode, x value is 10, y is 20, just say x plus y value 30, you got x minus y, x into y, x itself will get the output statement by statement. The same
Okay.
10 and
Can't
20.
we run all this operations at a single shot, sir?
See,
Like,
1 second. See, what do you mean by batch mode? Means batch of statements writing and saving by using .py and submitting. Interactive mode means interacting statement by statement.
okay.
So interactive mode for not for this developing applications, right? Interactive mode only statement by statement. For developing Python code, you can go for interactive mode. You check statement by statement what result.
So this means all IDs comes under interactive mode, right, sir?
ID is not interactive mode. All IDs comes as batch mode only.
Okay.
Here I mention batch of statements, editors are IDs. Batch of statements within the editors are IDs, right? Interactive mode, okay, just we directly type and interact with it statement by statement. But in batch mode, all the editors, these are the various editors IDs for all this batch mode. For developing applications, we go for batch mode. Okay. So
I have a question.
Yeah,
So
go ahead. Yeah.
generally in the Java, like we used to set the environment variables, right? Like a path for the Java. So here there is no need to set like any variables, right? In the command prompt.
Yes, 1 second. So here, whenever we are installing Python, right? I just said you to check that add Python path to add Python 3.10 to path. We have selected it, right?
Okay, that option itself acts as like a path.
Yes. But if you forget, right? If you forget, then you can set that environmental variables just as you do in Java. How you can set that environment variables means, for example, if anybody, for example, 1 second. If you go to the command prompt and if you type Python, if your Python is not recognizing, you are not getting this right, it will say Python is not recognized. In such case, you can just go where your Python is installed in your, for example, Python is installed here, Python 3.10, right here, Python 3.10. Just click here, select this.
Okay.
See Python 3.10, right? Select this, copy this path.
Okay.
Copy this path and just go to this right your PC, go to properties. Okay. Right click and say go to the properties, right?
The system and environment variables we need to save.
And 1 second. Scroll down.
Advanced system setting.
Yes, can you see your advanced system settings here?
Yeah.
Advanced system setting and environment variables.
System variables.
Yes, system variables.
Edit and copy.
Can just, this path is there, right? Otherwise, we can just go with user variables. Select this path.
Okay.
User variable path. Edit, you can say user variable path.
Okay.
Edit, you can select, and here already, and you can just say new, paste it here and say okay.
Okay. And I need to give the path C Python 3.10/.
Yes, that's enough. See Python 3.10 or Python 39 or Python 3.10, right? Anything.
Okay. Because in Java we used to give up to JDK bin, right? So yeah.
Yes. Here not. This is enough. Python 3.10. That's enough, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, this is also this all everything is also not If you just click while installing itself, we can say add Python 3.10 to path, it will add. No need to set all this, right?
Okay.
If it's not, you can set all this, but while installing only, just select that option, add Python 3.10 to path. And
If
here
you
I was
forget
just
to,
saying, if
yeah,
you
if we
you can
forget that,
then you
if we
can set
forget
it.
to check that path,
Yes.
so we need to give the path. Okay.
Yes, yes. So here you can write your code in this notepad, save it as .py extension and submit to Python, right? Give the entire path. But here one thing, what you are observing here, right? But here, what is the drawback here? But here we are writing code at one place. We are writing the code at one place means you are writing within the notepad you are writing and executing at the other place. You are writing the code at one place, that is notepad, and executing at the other place, right? Within the command prompt you are executing. But to write and execute at the same place, to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE. We have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation. Using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode. So I'm saying all the possible ways using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode, right? So here, what is the drawback you are observing? You are writing in the notepad and you are going to the command prompt, giving the path and executing, right? It's a but instead of all that, we have IDLE, which comes along with Python installation, using which we can work with both interactive and batch mode. For example, this is the code, right? Entering two values and I want to perform some, I'm just copying it. Now I will show you how to open this IDLE and how to run your code, execute the code at a single place. Writing the code and executing the code at the same place, right? Go to the start programs and check where your Python is available here. So if you observe here, I've got both 3.9 version, 3.10. Select which version you want, 3.10. In that, what is the first thing you see here? IDLE, right? Integrated Development Learning Environment, right? IDLE. Just click that IDLE. A Python shell will be opened in this manner. Python shell is open in interactive mode. Can you see this 3 arrow symbol here? You can type any valid statements and interact with it. 3 plus 4, x equal to Ajay, y equal to Kumar, x plus y gives like Ajay. So here interactive mode, you can interact with it statement by statement. But I doesn't want interactive mode. I want batch mode, means here file menu, file, say new file, and just type your code here, right? Write your code here. Compulsorily you need to save it before you execute. Save it like sample.py, any name.py, and just say run. You can write here itself and you can execute here itself. Run here. Can you see this run, right? Run module or F5. The shortcut is F5. To execute, what is the shortcut? F5. Otherwise, run module. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, and 10 by 20. Once again, I show you. Then run here, writing the code and executing the code. Run module, right? You can see the output here itself. 10 plus 20. So you can just go to the start program, select the Python. You can, the first thing what we see is IDLE, right? Click it. It opens in interactive mode. Go to file, new file, write your code and run your code, right? Understood, everyone? So instead of writing in notepad, again going to command prompt and giving the path, you can make use of this IDLE. Later I will show you how to run the code in this IDEs like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter Notebook, these things, right? Any query in this, anyone? So I showed you like what are the Python versions, Python software foundation, like installation of Python, execution modes like editors. You can interactive mode and batch mode. In batch mode, like how to work within the editors, and IDEs I'm supposed to discuss. So those IDEs I'll be discussing once we are done with a little bit of technical content, right? The downloading process, installation process, and the execution, right? Okay. So hope you have understood. Everyone try to install Python and just check whether it is installing or not. Any other queries as part of today's session, right? Fine. Tomorrow also. Okay. Fine.
So, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I'm having one doubt. So yesterday, you have given demo on that graph thing, right? So like age and salary, and then you just
Yes.
comma
Yes.
separated by, and then color, and then dotted line. So similar way, in this example, x plus y comma x star y, like that we can mention in the print statement in single line.
One second. This one.
Yeah, correct.
I didn't get your query. You want in a single line?
Yeah, print x plus y comma x minus y comma x star y, like that.
You want in a single line?
Yeah.
Single line means can go
Oh,
like
okay,
this.
okay. Like this, we can able to separate it. Okay, okay.
So the separators in Python, if you want to write two statements in a line, semicolon. Generally, you won't use semicolon in Python as you do in other programming language. It used as a statement terminator. In C, Java, every line should end with semicolon, but in Java, Python, no need of any semicolon. But if you want to write multiple statements in a single line, separated by semicolon, right? It works. Observe this output once. Run module.
Okay.
It gives the output. Fine. Okay, right. So any other queries as part of today's session? Anyone? So tomorrow also you can attend the session to see more on this Python. Okay. Fine. Same time at same link, using the same link, right?
Hi, sir. I have a doubt. Like coming to the video, where can we get the videos of the daily sessions we had, along with the document or the PDF supporting documents?
Yes. Yeah. You have received the videos of yesterday. Anyone?
No, there was a video YouTube link they have shared. Is it the video link?
Okay. I'll let you know. Like, so you'll be getting all the videos. Not a problem. That whatever we have discussed, everything. So the thing is, once you get registered, right, you will be getting all this process, video, notes, everything, right?
Register means after payment, sir?
Yeah. Registration means after payment of that. Once you get registered, right, payment after paying that fees. Okay.
Will it be a download PDF or document? Like video will be a downloaded video?
Video with downloadable access you won't get. Only you can just view that video.
So what about the document?
Yeah, notes you will be getting to your mail IDs on a regular basis. Every alternate day or every 2 days, you'll be getting the notes. I need to get your email IDs, right? So that notes I'll be forwarding directly to you, but videos, the online team will be taking care of it.
Sir, if we don't write the print again and again, and how we will separate this result?
So you doesn't want to write this print multiple times.
Yes.
So in that case, so you can do like this: x plus y, comma x minus y, comma x into y. Is there a single print statement you want all those, right? Okay, within a single print, x plus y, x minus y, x into y, x by y. Just check this result, run module. So 3 is the output, minus 10, 200 and 0.5. 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20.
Thank you.
And you want something, a comma between them. If you want some comma between this output, right? Comma separator equal to, I want a comma between them. SEP means separator I want between this output, right? Run module. So you got comma, right, between the outputs in this way. Yes.
Sir, will you teach Django separately or in this batch?
No, Django will be separate, right? This 100 hours, whatever we have discussed, right, will be by Python core and advanced.
Django
But
separate
Django
courses,
is,
sir?
yeah, Django is separate, not part of it. So
Okay, thank you, sir. How much fee, sir, for Django?
Django, this is what 5,000. This Python course is for 5,000. Django, I don't know, like approximately it will also around like
5,000.
like 5 or 6 around, I'm saying, but not particular about it.
We'll teach both core and advanced.
Here, this is for core and advanced. Whatever we are discussing is core and advanced.
Okay.
So, okay.
Tell sir.
Fine. Okay. So
Okay, thank you,
if
sir.
I'm done with the queries, right, and I'll just stop here for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time, same link.
Okay, sir.
So more discussion on this Python. Everybody can attend the session tomorrow also, right?
Okay,
Fine.
thank you, sir.
Yesterday, like some of you were asking about the payment details. I hope you got the mails related to that, the process and procedure, right?
Okay.
Vijay, actually, we did not receive any mails regarding payment and then the registration process.
Nobody has received that email. Can anyone please confirm?
Yes, sir. No one. I don't receive.
I received.
Sir, I did
Me
not
too,
receive any mail.
Those mails are moving to the spam. Just check the spam folder. So most of the people.
Everyone, everyone wants to check your spam folder. It seems, right? In that, otherwise, just let me check. They have just forwarded me also, right? Follow up.
We got
right?
it, sir.
So if you have
Payment
got this is follow up, man. So otherwise, you can take. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So otherwise,
Sir, which
Yes,
type of
we
job
got the
offer-
mail in spam folder.
Yes, Professor, we got the
Spam.
mail in the spam.
spam folder. This is thing you should have got, right? Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, which type of job opportunities through Python?
So we'll meet tomorrow, same time, right? Okay. You can just check that in the mail. The entire procedure is given, right? Fine. Okay. Thank you all for your time. I'm signing off, right? Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay. Fine.